Welcome to Worldwide Business. I'm Kathy Ireland. Have you ever stopped to wonder how the watch on your wrist came to be? How many unique and distinct pieces need to work together for an accurate delivery of time? Well, our guest today would likely say that watchmaking is more than the sum of its parts, more than a craft, but rather an art, marked by innovative concepts, ingenious developments, and a rich history dating back to 1822. The House of Bovet approaches the development of each of their timepieces as an entity and not simply the assembly of various elements. Owner Pascal Raffy is here to share how this legacy brand continues to stand the test of time. Welcome, Mr. Raffy.
Thank you very much, Katie.
The company recently celebrated its 195th anniversary. Congratulations, what an incredible milestone. When you acquired the company in 2001, how did you ensure that the company navigated the 21st century with the same values and ethos the Bovet brothers did through the 19th century?
Defending all what already has been achieved in nearly 180 years, being very proud every morning to defend this tradition of true watchmaking, but by the same time ready to open our minds to the 21st century with innovation based on tradition and values, skills, youth, a new way of expressing time, and specifically through the Recital collection, where, as you have noticed, last year the shooting star has been a universal success, as the Asterium this year, with its 771 components hand-beveled, chamfered, expressing equation of time with the most accurate calendar, reputed by the best specialists around the globe this year. So when you have a watchmaking house already respected when you become the majority shareholder and the sole owner, your duty is to prepare for your children, your own children, a house which is going still to be respected in the next century. And for that, only quality, uniqueness, the seek of perfection every morning will allow you to pay respect and tribute to what the Bovet brothers did nearly 2 centuries ago, and very proud to prepare the future with the same uniqueness.
Now, Mr. Raffy, Bovet is globally recognized for its craftsmanship and elegance. How has the company remained at the forefront of horological innovation since its inception, while continuing to pioneer patented new timekeeping technology?
There was only one way, Katie, for that, is that when you are the proud owner of a house of nearly 200 years of history, patrimony, very much respected all around the world and in all the continents, your moral duty is that you are the safeguarder of such uniqueness. And to safeguard uniqueness, you need to defend patrimony through art, human beings, artisans, in seek exclusively of uniqueness, where quantity is not going to be the essence, but quality is going to be everything. Then, every day, you build together with your team of artisans. By the way, Bovet House is a house of 100 artisans, mastering its cases, its dials, its hands, its movements, up to the hairspring. So it's an everyday effort, all together, to defend values, tradition, for the most beautiful pleasure of our collectors.
From its roots in the Chinese market of the 19th century to the current flowering of the Maison in the modern era, Bovet 1822 has manufactured beautifully designed quality timepieces. Today, the company remains at the forefront of horological innovation, constantly pioneering patented new timekeeping technology and crafting each minute component in-house.
For a watchmaking house which is coming back to its roots, the iconic position it had in the 19th century, for the most beautiful pleasure of the collectors, and as far as I'm a collector by myself, it's a true luxury to have our own manufacture, where In these different facilities where we do our movements, our dials, up to our cases by ourselves, for an independent house, it is more than crucial in order to be able to go to every detail, preserving and making Pyrenean traditional watchmaking arts. So it is very much important. The heart of the timepiece, when you are taken by passion, when you do love your house or you would love your fourth child, and when you are able to master the hairsprings in order to give life and birth to a movement, that components being so strategic, it was very much important for us in our house, even though doing less than 2,000 timepieces per year, to have that strategic element, which is the beginning of the calculation of the energy that every single movement deserves in order to be accurate with the best chronography possible, with the best amplitudes. So it's like having a jewel inside the facility.
Mr. Raffy, how did you do it? What steps did you take to make Bovet new again?
The most important in any kind of achievement is going to be your ability, as you perfectly know, Cathy, to be surrounded by human beings perfectly understanding the philosophy of your project, the quality you want your project to be of, so your team, your artisans, sharing that same philosophy. I love to say that in life it's very easy to buy buildings and machinery. There's only one thing we are not able to buy is a sincere smile. People understanding why, as a collector, you don't want to become a follower of massive marketing, where sometimes, and this is said with a lot of wisdom, you open publications where you see nearly in all of them a brand name, but it's not necessarily luxury. This is called marketing, where in the house of Bovet, I wanted the things to be understood in a different way. To settle down through facilities where if any collector of yours from any country would love to pay you a visit, as it happens every month, every week, nearly every day, and wants to see how your timepieces are handcrafted, he will go out delighted to see that in this globalized world, it is still possible to achieve true watchmaking art thanks to artisans who come to their second house every morning to express their passion. Very much proud to be part of a house and not of a company, as human beings on whom we do truly rely every morning for the most beautiful pleasure of our collectors. So the best achievement, the first one, yesterday, today, and for tomorrow, is the artisan himself, the human dimension that you can see, that you are in seek when you have in your hands what I call a skinny item, which is a timepiece, not a watch. A timepiece must bring you that emotion where you're going to travel through a movement, discovering every single detail through a component. And here you will understand how the House of Bovet, since nearly 2 centuries, is a respected one. Thanks to its artisans, it will always be thanks to its artisans. So the biggest achievement is the team of unique human beings expressing unique watchmaking arts.
And why do traditional artisan handcraft skills still matter in today's fast-paced industrial economy?
Because the tolerances have to be respected. When you have 771 components, if perfection is not here or nearly perfection is not here, you will not have a movement which is accurate with a beautiful amplitude and a fantastic chronometry as we do have. So pure talent is the essence of a Bovet timepiece.
Mr. Raffy, tell us about developing a new timepiece from design to finish. What is the time frame? What goes into that process?
The beauty of it, there is no time frame. Because if we had a time frame, even if productivity is important also, but when you want to express art like a genius painter, don't put any time frames. When you are ready with your timepiece because you consider it is nearly perfect, then you will present it. But usually in Bovet, it's impossible to develop a movement below 5 to 6 years. It's impossible to assemble a movement like the Asterium below a full month's all operations included. You have here timepieces which are not industrially made but handcrafted. It is very much normal, and I'm not surprised at all, and I'm not frustrated at all. This is the prize for uniqueness.
Bovet 1822, a Swiss band of luxury timepieces, distinguished by their elegant pocket watch-inspired form and refined traditional artisanal craftsmanship, continues to apply their transcendent artistry using traditional techniques such as hand engraving within the historic Château de Moitiers in the heart of Switzerland.
It is always of a big challenge to make that a talent becomes more and more comfortable with the specificity of our movements. There are two ways. You have the young watchmaker, the engraver, lady, gentleman, who comes already with his talent. You have the young watchmaker who goes out from the school, the watchmaking school, and to whom I do leave the necessary time to come to maturity. There is no rule on this, and talent is not a matter of age, talent is not a matter of time frame. It's like a beautiful flower. When it opens to itself, then it means that it is the moment. So I rather prefer to leave the time, to invest heavily in our human resources. And when you do talk not about industrial watchmaking, but haute couture related to watchmaking art, thus you have to be patient. The first asset of our facilities being our human asset.
Mr. Raffy, tell us about some of your latest timepieces. What makes them extraordinary and innovative?
Their ability to surprise and to bring somewhere some magics. I would like to show you, Katy, what makes in true luxury the difference. It's a clear identity. And then, on top of that identity that you cannot get confused, knowing that it's a pocket timepiece of the 19th century, at the wrists, it's also without any effort and without any tools. The ability to transform this master timepiece with its 22 days power reserve that I can still wear at my wrist as the most exclusive table clock you have ever seen.
That's extraordinary.
And the same timepiece, as you saw, with the same bracelet, I'm going to be able to reverse it if I want to wear it during an evening. From the other side, where I have the coat of arms of my family, I'm only going to clip my strap again. And I have another expression, which is the backside of the timepiece, which displays still hour and minute features. And then, because I have to pay tribute, even with all these innovations, to the unbelievable patrimony of the Bovet house, when I'm in black tie, I'm always delighted to take my chain from my pocket, to put it inside my bow. Opa, it has always to be pleasure. And then I have the most exclusive pocket timepiece you have ever seen. So to say innovation based on tradition is very important. You have in one timepiece 4 different ways to wear your timepiece as for ladies, because I'm delighted here to show you the same unbelievable Amadeo system applied to ladies. This timepiece also for ladies, by pressing very simply the bow, I'm going to open the case back. And I have here also for ladies a very unique table clock that they are also delighted to wear, thanks to this necklace that they apply again at the bow. They close the case back, and here in the evening or during the day, they wear their timepiece as a necklace.
That is stunning. Love that.
To answer your question, uniqueness has to be related to true luxury, a clear identity with this level of finishings, You cannot achieve this industrially. It has, by definition, to be in small quantities. Another expression, a huge novelty of this year, awarded already 2 times by international important press, is the Asterium. The ability to show what is happening in the planets displayed on that dome made by hand, with a retrograde minute, a precision moon phase, a cage of tourbillon of 18.3 millimeters of diameter, 10 days power reserve, and as far as a Bovet timepiece has to be even more beautiful on the backside than the front side, you have an annual calendar which has been reputed the most accurate one existing in what they call the industry. But here we talk about uniqueness. The Asterium is the big novelty also of this year, limited in 60 movements.
Is the conversion system unique to Bovet?
Oh, Cathy, the Amadeo system, I named it from the name of my son, of course, because it's a dream dating 10 years, is not only exclusive to Bovet, but patented. And of course, the Amadeo system, displayed in the Braveheart, is fully protected and is exclusive property of our watchmaking house.
Mr. Raffy, what does luxury mean to you?
An education, a way of living, where it's not necessary for you to be a follower of globalization, where marketing is nearly everything, where you have the ability to be an opinion maker, but whenever you want to defend that position, you want to be, and you must be able to prove that that uniqueness, that craftsmanship are still alive in this globalized world. Luxury is about education, Cathy. It's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Mr. Raffy, what does family mean to you?
The beginning and the end of a lifetime. Family is everything. Family is what you want to transmit to your children, because your parents transmit to you values that you want to defend. Family is that space of life where you try to share your values with yours, trying to make sure that for the next generations, your children are going to defend the same values. Family is the extended one of the Bovet house. I have 3 blood children, but I always say that I have 100 natural children. And when you have that feeling arriving to your facilities, your people, they will feel it. And when it is mutually shared, here you have the most beautiful expression of luxury, is that your family is in your house, your family is also in your company, that I do call the Bovet house. Family will always be the beginning and the end of everything. Destiny, again, a beautiful moment of life in 2006 when I took over the Château de Motier and the 2 facilities, the cases. It has been a strategic investment in 2014 to verticalize definitely our watchmaking house. For the Château de Motier, the state of Neuchâtel, so the authorities, called me one day saying that they had a castle to sell. I was very much surprised, being in love, to give back to the House of Bovet true facilities related to watchmaking. But when I discovered the 6th of February 2006, which is the day of birth of my father, the Château de Motier, having been property of the Bovet family, then I decided to complete the panorama of the Bovet house of the 21st century by coming back to the roots of Bovet, the Bovet family, in such a historical, iconic and unique patrimonial place.
How would you describe a Bovet client? What are they looking for?
I love your question. This question is perhaps one of the most important questions in what is happening nowadays. The Bovet collector, Cathy, is the gentleman or the lady who nearly has nothing to prove anymore. We all have things to prove in our lives, and every morning I think we are perfectly aware of this. But the Bovet collector is not the one who wants to see himself behaving, showing to his friend his bank account at his wrists. The Bovet collector is proud to show at his wrist his level of education, generally speaking. And his level of education in watchmaking art. They love another thing. When I meet them in airports or during dinners, they thank you. And they tell you one sentence which is so much valuable. Thank you not to do timepieces in numbers, where we would see Bovet at all wrists, because luxury has to be very rare by definition.
For all of us who want to become Bovet collectors, where do we find Bovet?
In the beautiful country, in the United States, you can find Bovet in our boutique in New York. By the same time, in the House of Asprey in New York, Beverly Hills, and Miami. Also in Chicago at Geneva Seal, our dear friend Alex Katz. Naples at Exquisites, at the Wynn Casino in Vegas, at Feldmar, our partner in Los Angeles, and at Addison Taylor in Scottsdale. So through 7 exclusive partners who do perfectly understand what has to be the spirit of Bovet to transmit to their collectors.
Wonderful. And if we want to experience the House of Bovet in Switzerland, is that something that's available?
It is one of the things I definitely, Cathy, ask my collectors or my potential collectors always to feel very free and comfortable. By the way, every year we do receive 20 to 30 American collectors in our facilities and in the castle, where I love to share a moment of life with them in order to make them discover, as they say at the end, Mr. Raffy, we knew that Bovet was handcrafting timepieces. But at that level and these standards, it has been an unbelievable experience. So definitely through our daughter company, the Bovet LLC in Miami, everybody can come and visit the Bovet facilities. It is the only way to discover the density of what we do defend related to watchmaking art. So with a lot of pleasure. And the collectors invited to the castle and to our facilities come from all the world. We are present in 43 countries around the globe. In the 4 major continents, we do have partners in all the countries. By the same time, through our boutiques in Geneva, in Moscow, in Baku, and the new ones coming, one in Dubai and one in Southeast Asia, we have as an asset in our house to invite, to share, and to transmit the way we defend our watchmaking art.
Mr. Raffy, you speak about education in terms of timepieces and educating collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak about the role that education plays in your life in philanthropy, in particular in Haiti?
Education is also the ability to have an open mind, to listen to human beings from different cultures, different countries, not to be stubborn and narrow-minded. Education is that ability to listen to the speech of a gentleman who nearly has nothing to prove anymore. Also, Mr. Paul Haggis, the movie director that a lot of people know, of course. Paul has been to Haiti to meet with Father Rick Fréchette just after the earthquake in Haiti. And his only will has been to bring the same education for youth to build a better nation in Haiti for the next generations. And when I met with Paul, I have to say that it takes you sometimes in your life 20 years living nearby human beings, and you don't really know them. And the beauty of life is that sometimes you can share 10 minutes with somebody. And because eyes never lie, you understand that you share the same values. And then I was delighted and proud to support Paul and Artists for Peace and Justice, bringing education for the youth of Haiti to prepare a better future for this nation.
Thank you for your extraordinary work.
Thank you.
Lastly, Mr. Raffy, while we are confident you can tell time, what about the future? What's next for you and for Bovet?
To stay stubborn, not to betray and to sell our soul, to be very firm on our values. What we were saying in 2001, especially through the press, Cathy, I never changed my speech. I never changed my words. I was totally convinced that globalization is useful, but it's not everything. Tradition, values, education, family, substance density are crucial also for humankind. The future of Bovet has to stay the same in terms of values, but bringing more innovation, more limits in terms of finishings. We do have hundreds of ideas, but also the future is to master time, to let time to time. But I'm quite sure that from now to 2032, every year the House of Bovet will be proud to present big watchmaking achievement respectfully to its unbelievable watchmaking patrimony.
Well, Mr. Raffy, thank you for sharing your rich history of Bovet and illustrating how each timepiece is patiently brought to life under the practiced hand of a Bovet master watchmaker. It is so refreshing to see that you and your team are preserving and cultivating the art and craft of traditional watchmaking. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Katie, also, for your true sensitivity to what luxury has to be.
Thank you. For Worldwide Business, I'm Kathy Ireland. Thank you for watching.